A lot of people are talking about this tax relief of just over 9 billion rand, but it's not really a tax relief. One must understand a lot of that is just adjusting for inflation. So if your salary is going up by 7% for inflation reasons, then obviously you need some kind of adjustment so you don't move into the next tax bracket. A lot of that was going towards tax relief, towards inflation relief, should I say, and most of that benefit really went to people in the lower end of the income bracket.
He didn't target higher earners, as some had thought, and it has been said that we already have this very small tax base with high earners already bearing quite a large burden already, aren't they, Maya?
You know, I was quite surprised at a figure that was in the budget review, which said that 154,000 South Africans have taxable earnings in excess of R1 million, and they contribute to over 30% of our personal taxes. So yes, you basically have 154,000 people paying 30% of our personal tax. So yes, we seem to have a very concentrated tax base.
Sure.
And that burden is, you know, people may be less sympathetic to people earning over R1 million, but there are a lot of people earning sort of, you know, what we call sort of upper income earners, sort of earning between, you know, maybe 300,000 up to R1 million, who are paying significant portion of the tax and carrying that tax burden. And of course, you also see them also paying higher VAT because they're obviously bigger consumers as well.
I saw a tweet today. We have more people on social grants than we do paying tax. It's quite incredible. Maya, the fuel levy does go up, and that affects everyone. I guess he had to take something away from us.
Yes, well, the fuel levy has, you know, it's been obviously an area where he's been able to go in, and I do wonder sometimes with all the funding that had to go into SANRAL to offset the e-tolls. We saw in the last 2 years, we saw quite significant increases in the fuel levy, and this year we saw a little bit more, it's slightly tamer. What we saw was a 12 cents increase on the fuel levy and 8 cents onto the road accident fund. So putting on 20 cents a litre onto the petrol price from the 2nd of April.
I'm very interested in what you think on his efforts to encourage saving. We know that too many South Africans are in debt and not enough saving, and we are moving towards sort of forced retirement savings. Is that the way to go?
I thought his comments were very interesting, talking about going towards mandatory cover, but I think it's going to be very, very difficult to implement. To be perfectly honest, I think there's a lot of people outside of formal employment that are not covered by retirement funding, and I'm not quite sure how one would cover that. I think we may see more moves coming towards preservation. South Africans, we actually put a lot away into retirement funding. The problem is we tend to cash it all in before we retire, and that I imagine we're going to see a lot more discussion around those issues. But I was quite excited about a few developments, Francis. First of all, on the retirement side, they increased the tax, the amount that you can take as a tax-free lump sum in retirement up to 500,000 rand. And the reason for that is that there's many low-income earners who don't actually benefit tax-wise from contributing to retirement funds, but then end up actually paying tax in retirement. So that was really to benefit them. And also there's talk again of these tax-preferred savings accounts where we will be able to put around 30,000 rand a year away into, it could be a unit trust, it could be a bank account, it could be an exchange-traded fund, and all the income in there would not be, or the assets would not be attract capital gains tax, it would not attract dividend tax, it would not attract interest tax on interest. So that could also perhaps encourage savings further.
Finally, Maya, he was encouraging everyone to save and buy these retail bonds. Just give us a dummy's guide to those.
Yes, the RSA retail bond is definitely one of the best savings vehicles, especially if you're looking at shorter-term investments, you know, sort of 2 or 3 years. Currently, it's paying 7% for a 2-year fixed investment. But one of the downsides of it until now has been that you can only really put in a lump sum. So you put a minimum of 1,000 rand, but if you wanted to contribute to it, you'd have to take out another investment of 1,000 rand. And what National Treasury is going to do is actually open them up so that you can do a monthly contribution or an ad hoc contribution, which is really, really powerful because now you can save on a monthly basis into an account that's giving you 7% interest, which is a pretty good return.
All right, thank you so much for your analysis. Maya Fisher-French, the editor of Maya on Money. And we've been focusing on the budget, but there was other business news today. Vodacom